Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to the Marine Corps Movie Minute, where we discuss the movie Heartbreak Ridge 1 minute at a time. Today we are discussing minute 34. And 34 begins with Clint Eastwood's ex wife Aggie attempting to defuse a hostile situation. And it ends with Stitch Jones dispatching some would be hecklers. So, what do you want to talk about this minute, Perry?
The new boyfriend, he's not doing anything to change my opinion. He's he's I guess he's kind of rubbing it into Gunny's face that he's going to be taking his ex-wife home, trying to be a smarmy prick. But yeah, I think Aggie did a decent job of defusing the situation. But Tom Highway was actually pretty composed through all this thing. All the times that we've seen him being, his charming self, he's pretty well put together. He just kind of behaved
Right.
pretty diplomatic about the whole thing, actually.
Pretty much, yeah. He kind of stood back and just stood his ground with his eyes.
Yeah, yeah. Some more face acting.
Last minute ended with an insult, a pretty bad insult towards somebody like Gunny Highway is bullshit heroics,
Yeah,
and immediately Aggie tries to downplay it. She's playing nice. She's like, oh, because he's like, is there a problem? I've heard all about you, blah blah blah. And she's just like, he was just about to leave.
yeah,
Yeah, because she's trying to avoid any potential conflict between Gunny and Roy Jennings, who is played by the sizable Bo Svensson.
yeah.
And and he just keeps his eye on Clint, but Clint never, Tom Highway never breaks eye contact with him the whole time.
Nah, yeah. He's nonplussed by the whole situation. He's not impressed, but not threatened by him either.
Yeah, he's clearly, if you think about it, he's at a disadvantage. He's got the low ground, and
Yeah, it's an uphill fight.
right. Roy Jennings has the high ground. But he just sits there. He lets her kind of handle him. He's not afraid of him. He stares at him. He stares him down pretty good, but he's not really instigating it further.
Yeah,
I do feel that Roy tried to pull a real alpha male type move on another alpha male
yeah,
by saying, once it kind of diffuses, he said, "All right, Aggie, I'll take you home
yeah.
tonight."
As usual.
Yeah, right. But before he says that, he looks right at Clint, right at Tom Highway, stares right at him and says, with a big old shit-eating grin on his face, as usual.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Roy's probably a little bit more threatened by Clint than he lets on.
Yeah, probably. And we'll find out maybe he's got a bias against Marines.
It's very likely. I mean, I don't know, there's nothing obvious at this point, but it would seem like that's a possibility.
Right now, he just has a bias against his girlfriend's ex-husband,
Yeah.
who, as far as he knows, probably from her opinion, he's a shitbag,
Yeah, it could be.
a drunken, disorderly.
Fight starting, uh, womanizing. Well, it kind of leads on to your floozies, right?
Yeah, it's bimbos. Your
His
bimbos.
bimbos, his bimbos. Yeah. It's there's probably a little bit more to that history than you would. He's Tom Highway may not be the fine upstate, and we've heard his stories. It's obvious that he's bang more quiff, uh, whatever the
Right.
yeah. So well, we had his litany of
Things
adventure.
he's done. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
his achievements.
I also go back to the fact that it's 1983, post Vietnam's Vietnam's
Yeah, still,
pretty
still
fresh.
yeah. The wounds are still a little, yeah, still a little tender.
And really, it's not like today where it's thank you for your service. It's
Yeah,
like you said, your bullshit heroics. They could care less that he was a Medal of Honor winner or any of that bullshit.
right. Yeah,
In his words.
yeah.
So I do like when he walks away. Clint Eastwood's like to Aggie, "Oh, you sure can pick 'em, I'll tell you." She goes, "Ha! You should talk." Lord, she goes, "Look who's talking,"
Yeah.
which is a great reaction. She's legit, genuinely amused by the irony of the situation.
Yeah, yeah, the fact that he has the balls to say something about that.
And the look on Tom Highway's face afterwards is kind of like he's not happy, he's insulted, but it's almost like Yeah, you got me.
Yeah. 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 Well done, madam.
So right, I mean, right after that, um, that's about 30 seconds of the minute. The halfway part of the minute that what we failed to mention is while this is all going on, you can still hear Stitch Jones singing in the background.
Yeah, playing away.
And I love you, but I ain't stupid. I think was the song.
Yeah.
I saw this on IMDb in the past, and I totally forgot about it. So this is actually appropriate, place for it since we see Stitch Jones singing and playing the guitar. Apparently, when Mario Van Peebles before this movie could not play the guitar.
Really?
Yeah, he took some quick lessons to convince Clint Eastwood he could play the role of wannabe rocker Stitch Jones.
Oh, no shit.
But there's been plenty of actors and actresses who are like, "Oh, this movie it's a western and there's horseback riding in this. Do you know how
Yeah.
to ride? Of course I do."
Yeah.
And they quick run out and learn how to ride a horse really quick.
Yeah. Y
So
y yeah, but, riding a horse is, it's, it's incredibly easier to learn how to do, over guitar playing.
yeah, I agree. So he finishes his song, and he kind of jumps up and he I don't know, kind of kneels down, pumps his fist in the air, and
Yeah, the big
he's
finish.
yeah, the big finish, exactly. He got a standing ovation from the one lady up front. She was
Oh,
very impressed.
the one in the blue dress?
Yeah.
The one with what could be considered angry titties?
He probably wouldn't say she does has those, yeah.
Was it the hostile projectiles?
Hostile projectiles. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't think she's wearing a bra. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Nope, and if you watch the film, I don't believe she is either.
I don't know, just something stands out to let me know.
All I can say is it's probably very cold in that bar.
So so when he gets up, he says, "Well, I'm gonna play something from NYC, the only place to be." He's a poet and didn't know it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I can't remember. Did we establish that he's from New York City? I thought in the past we said something about he's from New Jersey.
Man, I don't know if that was just you and I talking, or if that was the actor himself, or if that was the character. I don't
Yeah, 'cause
remember. I vaguely remember it came up in some form or another, but I can't give you any more detail than that.
yeah, it's
I've
failing
s-
my memory right now.
I've slept since then, and I've consumed alcohol in
Yeah, that was
copious
way back
amounts.
then.
Yeah, oh yeah, those brain cells died a horrible death.
All right, well, that's not that important, but uh,
But I think Mario is from New. I think he is from New York, though.
yeah. Well, that could have been a little. I don't know where I got that stat from that he's from New Jersey, but we did. I think we talked about it when we were trying to figure out where he was going, where he was coming from when he was on the Greyhound bus
Yeah.
or the Coastal Carolina Transit.
Yeah.
So Stitch starts shouting, rock the house," trying to get the crowd involved.
Yeah.
There was a couple, I mentioned them a minute or two ago, I can't remember when, that there was a couple guys in the front that looked like Marines and that were kind of talking to the table next to him, not enjoying the show.
Yeah.
And I think he says, "Fuck rock." Why? Because he's like, "Rock the house." He's like, "Fuck rock. Why don't you get your hair cut?"
Oh, yeah.
And and the other guy laughs and says, "Yeah, high and tight."
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they kinda look like Marines.
Yeah, well, I'll save it for next minute, but I do have some information about them. But yes, they are
Yeah,
definitely playing Marines.
yeah.
They're harassing Stitch, and Stitch gives it right back, as we know he works on his routine.
Yes.
And he said they're so ugly they should be at the airport sniffing luggage.
Yeah. That actor, though, the guy that plays that dude, he looks familiar.
He does look familiar, and I can't just tell if it's because I've seen this movie so many times.
Yeah.
I have a little. I was gonna say I'll save it for next minute, but because they have, there's more on them next. The two
Oh, okay.
Marines,
Hey, look at you being all prepared.
right? But unfortunately, I'll just spoil it now. I could not find who exactly these guys were.
Ah.
The actors' names. Um, it is what it is, you
No,
know.
okay.
But so I highly doubt they went on to be um
Big actors.
bigger actors or bigger stars, just because I think they would be easier to find then, especially that guy, because
Yeah.
he's more prominently featured than the other guy.
Well, but I can almost guarantee that every single person at that table did a guest spot on Law and Order.
Right, right. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, if they had any career that lasted any longer than 15 minutes, they were absolutely in Law and Order.
Exactly. Yeah, but I mean, this is just more of the same. We've been in this bar, and Stitch is a big hit, except for that table of Marines that clearly don't like his haircut, which I did find funny that finally somebody has spoken out about a
Yeah,
Marine in recon that has, non-reg haircut.
right. I wonder if they know that he was a Marine.
I'm guessing they do because he told them about. Well, actually, who knows? I doubt they'd be harassing him just to
Mhm.
harass him, but maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, he seems to be like he plays here. It's clearly a bar that rednecks and Marines hang out in.
Yes.
I would think he's relatively known around town, or at least to the people who come to this club.
Yeah.
Because again, there's a line or two in a minute or two that makes me think this is not his first gig. Because they even said back from his successful tour,
Yeah.
so they know the song he's playing. So that's just my guess.
That's actually an interesting thought, though. Back from a successful tour, I wonder if they deployed to Europe at some point on a Gator freighter. That was his successful tour.
Yeah, yeah, it's a tour of duty.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going on a float for 8 months.
Right. Who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah, then he can tell whatever story he wants when he gets back about what he was actually doing.
yeah, playing guitar in Spain or some nonsense.
I mean, unless you got something else for this minute, I think we can move on.
Nah, man, I got nothing for you. This is a pretty lame, or that's a pretty tame minute. Not lame. There's some good stuff. There's some build up stuff. But yeah, this is like one of those episodes, TV show where it's like nothing really happens, but it kind of builds to the next thing. So yeah,
Yeah,
let's move forward.
it's like a palate cleansing minute, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's transitioning from one thing to the next. But I mean,
yes,
it's I find some of the stuff funny with the as usual and Clint Eastwood's kind of look and her. "Huh, you should talk."
yeah.
Yes.
Character development.
Why don't we come back on Wednesday then,
Okay.
and we'll figure out what's you know because the minute ends right when Stitch insults those guys.
Yeah,
So let's see what happens after that.
that works for me, man.
All right. So let's just thank everybody for joining us today at the Marine Corps Movie Minute. Join us on Wednesday when we'll discuss minute 35.
Yep, and don't forget our websites, the Facebook page, and Twitter. I don't have any of this stuff written down, so I'm just gonna say find it, look for it. Please visit it. Let us know what you think.
Roger that. All right, Perry, you're so ugly you should be at the airport sniffing luggage.
This asshole.